Hello, thank you so much for tuning in my live stream. Today, guess what? I'm going to talk to you a very interesting topic. It's called the authenticity aspects of educators. So the question is, should you as an educator behave authentically or pretentiously? So actually, I read an article by Brookfield in 2006, and Brookfield explained the authenticity in a great detail. He said, a prime indicator of authenticity is the teacher's clear responsiveness to learners' concern. Even so, students' long-term intellectual development sometimes requires that we not doing what they ask, thereby appearing to be unresponsive to their wishes. So, should you behave? Should an educator behave authentically, or you should behave pretentiously? So, in today's topic, I'm going to talk to you about it. Hello, how are you? And thank you for tuning in. My name is Rosalia. I'm the creator of adult education ingredients, and I'm sure that you know my channel. And to tune in, I bring you the best ingredients or topics for your organization and for yourself. So if you need any information about or suggestion of any topics of ingredients, tune into my channel. So if you like my channel, press like or subscribe to my channel or share it with other people. I'll be really appreciate that. Okay, let's continue now. Talk about the educators' authenticity. So also Brookfield. I just talked about Brookfield in 2006, and he also Brookfield also continues to emphasize that. For example, he said, I know that when I'm trying to get students to think critically, I must sometimes refuse to comply with requests made in class to tell them the correct view to hold on an issue or the right assumption to follow in a certain situation. So also he continued to emphasize my refuse to tell them the proper opinion or what they should be thinking, in effect to refuse to comply with their request for the right answer appears to contradict the condition of responsiveness. So okay, in reality, an authentic personality is better than pretentious personality. Why? Because at least what authenticity is, coming out being genuine and the truth of a person's character. So the world has the right to accept or not accepting a person's authenticity. So in order, what I mean is for personality authenticity is because you are true to yourself and you're true to the society, and you contribute such a clear message to the world that you are that sort of person. You're not giving other people the ambiguity or the fake kind of information about yourself, which is so much better for yourself and also for other people. And I have this experience. For example, I like to be true to myself, about myself, my character, and I feel very guilty if I cheat someone that my character is like that, and or I try to pretend to be someone else. And it's sort of like you feel yourself to be cheated by yourself, and also you feel yourself cheated by the society. Of course, you don't feel it immediately. In the long term, you feel cheated, you know. So the authenticity, even in any kind of profession or for example, here I'm talking about education, is so much better than pretentious character. Pretentious character is like when you are pretended to be a person but you are not that person. You cannot do whatever that person is, and you are not that kind of character, but you try to force yourself to be the other person. You can imagine that it is so hard for yourself and so hard for the society to recognize the true you, and as well as it is not as beneficial to the society as well. Yeah. So it is left to your own thinking about what I'm telling you now. And of course, this is a free world. You can do whatever you want, and you can be whatever you want to be. Okay. Now another one is I'm going to tell you is the why because authentic has no rule. Okay, it comes out merely from inside a person. So if you are true, it's just coming out merely from yourself, his or her intuitive, non-pretentious behavior, because authenticity is coming out from your intuition, and it is in the long term it's so much better, so much easy for yourself. Yep. Okay. Only that, how does a person use his or her authenticity? Does he or she uses it correctly? Yeah, effectively and right on time. So this appears to satisfy what Brookfield research is about. For example, Brookfield quotes, "If this is added to my insistence that students engage with ideas they would rather avoid or that they undertake." All right, maybe a moment. So what he said is the activities they don't see as relevant I appear to be the most inauthentic of teachers. If authenticity is judged by responding promptly to learners' expressed idea, so in all these situations, I would argue it is educationally important that I use my power as a teacher to do things I determine will enhance students' long-term intellectual development, even if in the short run it makes me appear inauthentic. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, I'll tell you what exactly it means, okay, later on. So authenticity has no right or wrong, all right? It is as it is, just the word authentic or authenticity. Authenticity is merely the practice of liberating rather than repressive tolerance. So that means if you are be authentic, you don't repress your things. You're not afraid of showing yourself authentically, and it is hard to practice initially, but in the long term it is good for you in the society. It's from my personal experience. Okay, so we must never confuse responsiveness with capitulation to majority wishes or always doing what students say they want. Instead, we want to understand responsiveness as fully addressing learners' concerns and questions, even if this means justifying why we can't do what they say they want us to do. So in this situation, being responsive is to explain as fully and announcingly as possible why you believe sticking to your agenda as fully and convincingly as possible, and why you believe sticking to your agenda is in your best long-term interest. So it's long-term, right? Being authentic is not short-term. Being authentic is like being true to yourself, being a long-term happiness and long-term how to say, long-term from intuitive. So you long-term reassure yourself to be what you are actually is. Okay, it's so much easier actually. So even if they violently disagree with the position, so if initially if you are showing your authenticity, then so many people disagree with your position, but in long term it's still good for you, because as times go by, people will recognize your authenticity, and they know that this is your true self, this is yourself, so you are not pretending. So of course this is much easier than done. Yeah, it is easy to say, but very difficult to do it. It takes a lot of encouragement and courage and bravery. Okay. In the study for another author in the book that I'm going to put a reference down below there to show you what the author said about being present. So being authentic means being present, being where you are now. Okay, so you're moving from start here. So becoming authentic is in many ways individualism. Another word is becoming authentic is become individualism, become a person who are right now what you are right now, being present. It is not only being genuine, but understanding what genuine means in a deep way for ourselves. And this involves critically questioning the world outside of ourselves. So to differentiate ourselves from the collective side, we need to come to terms with which social norms have been uncritically assimilated. So what do we really believe? What do we hold so dearly? What resonates with us and what does not? So Cranton in 2006, in the book I'm going to give you the reference when I finish the live, studied integrating perspectives on authenticity, believes that in authenticity we can see that being or becoming authentic has the potential to lead us to rise up against the evils of the world. So we must, in being true to ourselves, object to and work against what we see as wrong. Cornelson, also in the same book, 2006, stated to teach, you need to teach with presence. So what do you mean by to teach with presence? It means being present and becoming present. So being present means, as I said before, being present means presence of the ourselves, of the learners, and of the subject content. So teaching with presence means teaching in a way that encourages openness, imbues vitality, and sometimes abandon order. So a few focus related to being present. I'm going to talk about what do you mean by being present. For example, being open and helping learners to be present, being vital or walking the talk, and living with chaos. Okay, let's dip into it. So let's interpret what you mean by being open and helping learners to be present. So, and what's meant by being vital or walking the talk, and also what's meant by living with chaos. All right, let's dig into it. All right. So being present. Being present means that moving from pronounces how to act at the beginning of their teaching lives, and they were preoccupied with technique, structure, and course content. So in the beginning, when you learn, you are occupied with technique, and you occupy with structure, and you occupy with course content. So not yet from the intuitive, okay? But over the years, the priority shift to the people, bringing them, the learners, in. So slowly, after you learning the technique, structure, and the course content, you slowly bring people into what you want to convey to them or tell them. So, and also bringing ourselves in too, and letting the subject content be. So because you're so familiar with the content, now you're going to bring them in. As they become more confident in themselves and their teaching skill, it frees them to be themselves and shift their attention to the human interaction and claim what's at the heart of the teaching learning process. So now in the other process, which is the teaching and learning process, and it was not that the techniques and methods no longer matter, they did, but the emphasis shift. Also, it's about the emphasis. It's shifting from their implementation to their purpose. So Dune's description in 1993, according to Cornelson, is tech and phronesis. Tech, T-E-C-H-N-E, and phronesis is P-H-R-O-N-E-S-I-S. Tech is all about technique and structure, and also the course content. Phronesis is from inside, the intuitive and all that. So what is tech? And I said before, tech is knowledge possessed by a maker and suggests sovereignty over. Phronesis is knowledge that is perusal and suggests the communal engagement with. So I tell you that teaching or any form of human interaction cannot be reduced to technique, because teaching is not a process of making subjects, but a practice of engaging in human interaction. Okay, he says that this calls for teachers to bring qualities of mind, character, and practice transcending skillful application of technique. So to teach effectively, Dan says the practice of technique is indispensable. However, to ensure the techniques are deployed in right relation to the right person in a given situation, what teaching calls for is knowledge of phronesis. So initially, when you engage in any profession, it's all about to do with technique and structure, which is tech, TECHNE. It is not yet engaged with the knowledge of yourself or your students or learners, because at the beginning of work or profession you need to learn all the structure, but slowly when you have familiar with structure or technique, slowly you can practice authenticity, and you can bring people in, and you can bring yourself, the truth of yourself in, okay, in the situation of in your profession or in your job. So bonuses must underlie tech. Bonuses come with time, so it's exactly the same as I told you before. So in order to become authentic in a profession or any professional jobs, you need to tolerate with time, experience, and your confidence. So quoted by Dan, it also suggests that being self-confident and skilled, being self-confident and skilled in teaching techniques. Today I'm only use the education for example. It's the same as all profession. In the beginning of all profession and job, you need the tech, which is the structure and technique and the content. And finally, when you are able to be confident and self-confident and also skilled, you can slowly practice bonuses, which is bringing yourself, your true self, your authenticity, and learner's authenticity slowly into the process. So having the knowledge of tech may presage teaching with presence, teaching with a focus on human interaction. Now that we have learned that what is moving from tech to bonuses, now next fetch how do you becoming present? So to becoming present is to be careful and committed. What does that mean? Careful means like when, for example, a teacher with an unusual inner quality, a profound insight or a watershed experience that would singularly and extraordinarily account for their classroom success and their teaching presence. So in other words, they need to be careful and committed. And commitment, which is like, for example, teaching with presence, takes effort and commitment day in and day out. And to all this commitment, the process of careful and commitment, slowly you can practice authenticity. So authenticity is not easy. It's very easy to say, but it's very easy to do it. So it takes time, okay? And okay, thanks so much for your tuning in today. I wish that you can, for whoever watching here, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the button. And then also, if you like the what I'm preaching or what I'm teaching, what I'm conveying you and sharing with you, you can put like, or you can share with your friends or people you know, right, or organization. And I say my channel is to bring topic and ingredients and suggestions of topics and ingredients for yourself and your organization. Anyway, have a nice day, and I'm truly